pursuit of no labor. The party in Pryor continues from the KATT booth at Rocklahoma 2023.
Indeed we are. It's Cameron Buchholtz, Rock 100.5 KATT, Rocklahoma 2023, here with Sonny and Traa of P.O.D. What's going on, gents?
What's up, man?
Dude, how's your Rocklahoma experience today? Yeah, I mean, you guys were amazing. You played in the heat of the middle of the day, probably had the hottest set.
It was tough. It's always warm in Oklahoma.
This is true.
It's all good.
And you guys have probably been there before, like like just ungodly hot shows and.
Actually, the sun wasn't directly on us.
There you go.
But it was still.
I think it is now on that stage. So whoever's next is going to be burning.
And at least, like, you guys, what you wear on stage is at least like summer appropriate. You don't have like crazy costumes or you're not in Gwar where you're wearing 10 inches of latex.
I don't know how they do that. Even a mask would be crazy.
Have you ever thought about doing that? Like, you guys came up in that time where it was like, hey, maybe you know.
Well, we knew our popularity would grow. We'd be huge if we.
Sure. Yeah.
If we put a mask on.
You wanted to make sure that you had that ceiling on your popularity.
I don't know how to do it. Honestly, and I don't say this to be disrespectful. I thought that era would have kind of, would have died off a little bit. But now it seems like everybody's
coming back.
Got a mask, a gimmick, a theatrical show, and it's just like.
I mean, everything kind of comes full circle, but I think the ones that last are where it's sort of authentic, and that wouldn't have been authentic for you guys at all.
Exactly.
I don't think so.
I think we played. This was years ago. I want to say like maybe in 2018. In Lubbock, we played a festival like this, and I think we were probably one of 5 bands that didn't have masks or
really
some kind of costume on. It was like, this is crazy.
Weird.
So we feel out of place.
Yeah, we feel real. It's like, you got any paint there?
Yeah,
I mean, hey, dude. But then it's like you are the only ones that are recognized in the crowd then too. Everybody else just gets to walk around.
I know. It kind of sucks.
We always say that with the bands that rock the mass and stuff, it's cool at first, but then once they start blowing up and they get big, they want to be seen and noticed in public. So, sooner or later the mask comes off. So,
Sure, yeah, absolutely.
You can't be a rock star if no one knows who you are.
Yeah, I mean,
Corey next to the guys in Slipknot, I never know that.
Right, except Corey Taylor's going to be here tomorrow without a mask and very.
No, but back in the day, I remember I think it was Europe, and they were catering, and we were like, hey, those are the guys from Slipknot. Like, we were stoked to see their faces.
Right. But now, is this your first Rocklahoma? I can't remember seeing you here, but over the years, I'd imagine.
We've been here a couple times.
Okay. Just been a little while. I think 2016 was my first, so I'm assuming it was before then. But what are your impressions of this fest? Because I'm sure you guys have played pretty much every festival that there is.
Yeah. It is warm. I mean, if we're dying on stage, I just look at the crowd. And I'm like, I don't know how you guys are doing it, man. Like,
they're troopers.
I feel bad for them, dude. Yeah, but hey, that's the price of rock and roll. Yeah. They should start growing some trees out here.
Yeah, that's also true. Yeah.
By next year, it might be all right.
But you know the way people complain, though, because if they grew a bunch of trees, then the next year there'd be a bunch of Facebook comments. These damn trees are blocking my view.
That's true. Can't win.
Anti-tree.
Yeah. We're getting canceled.
But now, this is one thing I just have to throw out here and thank you guys, because when I was a teenager, my favorite band was Blindside. Yeah. And I know how much you guys played a part into bringing them into America, and just I had to mention that because they're indeed, man.
Thank you, man.
And then kind of along those same lines, like your old manager used to live like right down the road. Bartlesville was like the weird hub that you and Blindside, and there was that weird venue, the Warehouse, that would just have random shows and then
those are the best shows in Bartlesville, the Warehouse.
And the opener of that one Me Without You show, and the opener took his dick out, and like it made national news, and like it was like, this is happening at this Christian venue. Like,
That's right. I remember that.
Yeah. So this is very much like, you guys have history in this part of the little piece of the world.
For sure.
His uncle used to live out here too, so it was we'd have like a week off or like a few days off. We'd wind up staying.
Barbecue and hanging
out. It's out here in Tulsa, right?
Oh yeah. Tulsa and Oklahoma's always been good.
Nice. I remember a few years ago, you guys played at this kind of weird venue that was only open for like 6 months. That was like a haunted house, and then they decided they wanted a venue next to it. And maybe it was like 4 years ago. But I remember it was the day of an ice storm, and I had to drive Marcos and Wov from the venue to the station and back, and it was an ice storm, and I legitimately thought, well, I'm going to kill 50% of P.O.D. driving down the highway to try to get this interview done. But it wound up being okay, and the show was rad, because you guys are always, you always bring it.
Yeah.
And how much do you guys still put into the thought of the live show? Like, is it just kind of old hat for you guys, and it's just like, oh, it's just what we do, or is it still something that you think about? And
I've always felt it's always been a part of our thing. I love being in the studio, recording and stuff like that, but I think part of our P.O.D.'s thing is the live performance. Yeah. So we try to put as much as we can into it. I think it's important, just give it 100%. You know what I mean?
We're just, we're also from the old school where we're, it's just go nuts, be punk rock, have fun. You know what I mean? And like we were talking earlier, sometimes we don't know what the crowd wants these days. There's so much theatrics and stuff, and we're just. We're old school guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we still want amps on stage. I mean, everybody's playing with nothing on stage.
We barely went into in-ears, you know what I mean?
Right. I still won't make the transition.
No, you really?
I refuse.
So do you have tinnitus then?
No.
Like, is that?
My ears are fine. That's all bass on my side.
Yeah,
okay.
I ain't good with bass.
Fair enough.
For sure.
But now, as far as today here at Rocklahoma, like, I'd imagine you guys have played a lot of shows with Limp Bizkit over the years.
Yeah.
And probably Bush, too, actually.
Bush, I think more, mostly it's just festivals and stuff.
Yeah, mostly festivals.
But surprisingly, we haven't played that many shows with Limp Bizkit. Like, you would think, like, we would love to go all those guys, but it's a fit. And obviously, if the whole new metal thing or whatever they're saying is having a surge, like, you might as well just bring bands of that era and just do it.
Yeah.
But they put on a great show,
Yeah, they're amazing.
For sure. I guess maybe thinking back, you guys were slightly after them. I guess like the Satellite record was actually one of those weird facts that Satellite came out on 9/11, 2001. The same day as Slayer, God Hates Us All. And I'm kind of obsessed with what came out on 9/11. Nickelback, Silver Side Up, Jay-Z's The Blueprint. Mariah Carey, the Glitter soundtrack, and there was a Dream Theater live album called Live Scenes from New York, which is pretty weird. But so you guys are a part of that. And I guess Limp Bizkit's heyday was maybe a year or two before that, maybe.
Yeah.
But
I think we've been a band longer, but we did stuff underground for so long.
Sure.
And they really kind of went straight to the mainstream. And it was over after that.
Now, you brought up the kind of new metal resurgence thing. Is that something that you guys really identify with? Because obviously I think some people might put you in that category, but I don't...
We don't even know where that came from.
Sure.
Somebody, I think MTV started calling it new metal.
Right.
And everybody started calling it new metal.
But we've been called so many things before. When we were doing stuff underground and just touring on our own, it was rap rock or rap core, and we've heard all kinds of different stuff. And then new metal just happened to stick, and it was like, whatever.
Right. It was just sort of what's in vogue at that time. So it doesn't,
We were never like, we're a new metal, new metal band.
Right.
We're just a rock band playing music.
Indeed, man. Well, thank you guys so much for stopping by, and it's always great to see you. And just thanks a lot.
Nice.